The Tuesday, October 4th regular meeting here in Clewiston. If you would, please stand. We've asked Reverend Brown if he would do a special prayer tonight, followed by the pledge.
Eternal God, we thank you for all you've done, and you've taken care of us, and we were able to get back here safely. But, oh God, there are so many others who have suffered and gone through a terrible ordeal, lost family members, lost friends. But we ask you now to continue to watch over them and keep them safe, oh God, and protect them in Jesus' name. And make sure, oh Lord, hear our cry tonight. If anybody may still be alive, that will be able to find them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Superintendent, do we have any citizen comments on the agenda items tonight?
We have none.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Mr. Superintendent, do I have your recommendation?
I recommend you approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Reverend Brown and a second by Mr. Sanderdike. Do we have any discussion or anything that you would like to move to an action item? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Consent agenda approved. Thank you, guys. All right, action items. Action item A, new personnel allocation, LMS additional paraprofessional. Mr. Superintendent, do we have your recommendation?
You do. I've stated several times that we're in a growing school on the west side of the district, and in the write-up you can see that basically the PE numbers are over 100 with 2 teachers, and so we believe at this point in time the most economical and best way to address the problem is to add a para to help with the supervision and safety of those classes. So therefore, I recommend approval of item A, new personnel allocation for LaBelle Middle School paraprofessional.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Houston and a second by Mr.
Sanderdike.
Sanderdike. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Action item B, out-of-field teacher list. Mr. Superintendent, do we have your recommendation?
Yes, this is an annual report that we bring to you. And on this state report, if you'll look through there, you can see the areas where teachers are out of field. And if you have any specific questions, happy to answer them. The one that probably will jump out at you, of course, is the ESOL. That ESOL is one that's on every teacher is required to have that. And and the minute you're hired, if you don't have it, then you're considered out of field, as with all of them. And with that, when you have a 5-year period, to get that. And so that's why you see a lot more of them than you do all of the other ones. We are going to address in the coming year, in the coming negotiations, some ways to make that a little more, no easy way to put it, but basically being out of field is a toothless tiger. They cannot get it, there's not much we can do about it. And so through this coming year's negotiations, we're going to do a few things to make it a little more enticing for them to go ahead and get it out of the way, if that helps. So therefore, unless you have questions, I approve item B, which is the out-of-field teacher list.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Vasquez and a second by Mr. Sanderdike.
Yes, I
Discussion?
know I need to abstain from my daughter's on the list.
No, sir. I wouldn't think so. We're not approving for money or anything. This is just notifying the public and you and the DOE that you have seen it and you've been presented it. And so you're not giving anything special to your daughter at that point.
Any further discussion?
I just want to say I appreciate thinking of creative avenues through collective bargaining to try to close that 5-year gap on accomplishing the ESOL endorsement, just considering our demographic and how important it is to so many of those families.
Yep, good point.
All right, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, out-of-field teacher list passes. All right, Mr. Superintendent, do we have your recommendation on action item C, approval of emergency purchases related to Hurricane?
Yes, for this item, what we're asking for is the opportunity for, as needs arise, we are probably far enough into it now to know that we're not going to have any major, huge economic burdens, but there are some things that staff does need to do, like hire a tree trimming company to come in and do the heavy lifting of that part of it. We did lose a couple of aluminum awnings, and rather than having to wait and go through some of the official procurements, if we could have the ability to do some emergency spending so we can get the few things that we do need to get addressed up and running, that would be appreciated. We're still kind of laying the tracks as the trains are coming. Although we know we didn't sustain any major damages, they're still finding little things here and there. And basically this item on the agenda would give us the ability to address those in real time and get them repaired, and not have to wait for certain approvals for those repairs. So at this point in time, unless you have questions, then I would recommend approval of the emergency purchase related to Hurricane Ian.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Reverend Brown and a second by Ms. Houston. Any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Superintendent, are we going to put some kind of cap on this? You know, I mean, not that we don't trust you, but I'm just thinking that we, you know, might want to, for accountability purposes, at least say, you know, a cap at whatever the board decides, just to make everybody feel better.
That's totally up to you. The only, again, the major purchase right now is probably going to be the aluminum, those sidings, and I think that, what was that bid, Mr. Houston?
For both schools, for up the Grove Elementary parent pickup and drop off, and also for the LES, it was 21,000 and some change.
Yeah.
And I opened some POs for that just in case.
Knowing that it was coming, I think.
But I believe that's the biggest one. We have
Yeah.
a couple open POs for Clyde Johnson, just in case for some roofing things that we have.
So we're not looking at hundreds of thousands?
No,
Yeah.
no, that's right.
Ma'am?
We're not looking at hundreds of thousands or anything like
No,
that?
ma'am, I would not, that's not me.
And that's what I was thinking, $50,000 or $100,000 cap.
Yeah, if you
What I
want
was thinking, I was thinking $10,000 or $15,000.
to, if you want to place it on there, that's fine. I don't think that will hinder us at all.
Okay, I mean, that's, I would feel more comfortable with that. I don't know what the rest of the board
I'll
is.
support that.
That's fine. Set the number.
So what number would you like?
I would say 50,000.
Okay, anything over 50,000 will come back for special.
Yes.
All together, okay with that. No, per item.
All right.
Yes, sir, thank you, sorry.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Just to be safe. Okay, do we need to make a motion on that, or that's just?
You can offer it as an amendment if you would like.
Okay. Yes, sorry.
Yes, I was going to say, there's a motion and a second on the floor, so someone could just make an amended motion, have a second, and then vote on amending that motion. And
So I say we amend the motion to a $50,000 cap on that per item.
Okay, so we have a motion. Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Rathbone for the amendment and a second by Ms. Houston. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, motion carries. All
Thank you.
right, thank you, Mr. Rathbone. Action item D, Mr. Superintendent, do we have your recommendation on the 2022-23 LA K-12 agreement?
Yes, for this item, we are still struggling with teachers, and this is an effort on our behalf to bring teachers into the district that's able to deliver high-quality instructions to our students. We readily admit that this is not the best case scenario. The best case scenario would be to hire a teacher, but we also know that we're not able to hire teachers. As a matter of fact, for the ones that we're intending to use this company for, it's going to be the higher in maths, higher in sciences, and things like that. A great example is at Wilson High School today, we have a physics class with students in it and no physics teacher. And so it's impossible for those students to stretch their minds with that higher level math without a teacher there. And we have no applicants whatsoever and can't get applicants for a physics teacher at Wilson High School. The beauty of this company is that if we sign this contract and we're able to find one in January, you know, we've got the ability to get in and get out. We don't have to maintain it past next year, and so there's a lot of flexibility with what we can do here. On the what we did do, I've given you one example of a physics teacher. We don't know, obviously, what the future holds with regard to teachers. This storm is a good example. There's some teachers today that are living with the principals that they work for because they don't have a home. And so who knows what will happen in the coming weeks with regard to teachers. And so what we did on here, we asked you for a minimum, which is of 1 teacher, and then a maximum of 5 at this point in time. That's why there was a price difference between the 63 and I believe 300,000 and change if we had to hire more teachers in the coming weeks. But we won't hire them obviously unless they were needed. And a blank was created somewhere that we weren't able to fill with a certified, qualified teacher. And so, again, I go back to, we would rather have teachers, we can't get teachers. A side note, as we were interviewing these companies, we asked all of them the same question, are you able to get teachers? And they said, oh yeah. And as a matter of fact, one of the companies, they said they're a nationwide platform and they had 1,800 teachers, certified teachers with a minimum of 5 years experience ready to go. So this is part of the platform that a lot of the teachers that are leaving the classroom are maintaining certification and still getting teacher salary, but doing it through these online type companies. Online synchronous learning is not the best. We know that, readily admit it, but we do believe that it may be the best option we have today. So we interviewed 3 companies, and the Elevate K-12 had a very robust proprietary platform that we were very comfortable, very impressed with, and inadvertently they also had the lowest price point for us. What we would like to do is to ask your favorable consideration on this tonight, and we will use ESSER dollars because this is absolutely shoring up learning loss. The caveat to it as well that you need to be aware of is that we still are responsible for classroom management. So a synchronous teacher with kids in our class can't do classroom management. And so we would still have to provide a para that will be in that class every day to take roll, make sure the kids are sitting down and behaving and things like that. So it is a little more expensive than a said traditional classroom. But again, we're also going to charge that to the ESSER funds. And this is going to be our pilot, and we're going to kind of see how it works, you know, pending your favorable consideration. And then if it works, then at least that would give us an option for these types of classes where we're unable to secure a teacher, at least give the students an option to learn and stretch their brains in ways that we're unable to do it today. So unless you have any questions, then again, I would recommend approval of the 2022-23 Elevate K-12 Hendry County Agreement.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The $30,041, is that per teacher?
I'm sorry, which one are you looking at?
Physical impact, $30,000. $30,041. Am I reading that right?
That's a different, that's for
Yeah.
Mr. Lukenhouse's work.
Oh, yes, right, yep.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong one.
Yes, sir, yep. It's on, I believe, 5C. No, the 5C, the very first attachment.
You are going to be,
Yep. And it's 5C, the very first, where it says proximity 2022 pricing.
Yes.
And basically, you have a ton of options there. You can do 1 period if you want. You can do 2 periods if you want. Your periods can be 60 minutes. They can be 90 minutes. And so there's a lot of differences there. Basically, we did what our regular teachers do, which is 6 periods, that's 60 minutes. And that math works out to, I think, 63,000 was what it would be what we would have to pay proximity, which is about what we pay.
I was going to say, with benefits for any
That's right.
teacher, it's pretty close.
It's almost the exact same. The difference really being we also have to put a pair in there.
And how many teachers do you think you're going to be able to get through this?
We can get
Because you can have it, it's pre-K through 12th grade.
It can be pre-K through 12th grade, correct? Yep. And they offer every discipline, foreign languages, you know, whatever you want to do. And so we're hoping to not have to use them except for to shore up the major learning loss areas that we really need. And the physics class is a prime example of that.
Good.
Yep.
Well, if you don't provide it in some manner, and I think that even overall, like what you're speaking to with the trouble with getting teachers, that has really changed the delivery of education, and it's even become more acceptable. And I think if we do not provide that service at that level of class to kids, like particularly like the high achievers, they're going to seek it somewhere else.
Yep.
And you know, if we don't provide it, somebody else will. So try to keep them here.
Yep.
And I like the concept of it being a pilot and the ability to pull out of the contract quickly if we're just seeing it. It's not.
That's right.
Those kids aren't, it's not meeting their need.
Right.
You think you'll have problems finding pairs?
No, sir. They've got someone in the classroom now, and so that should not be an issue.
They usually have subs in the classroom.
Right. And we're hoping we can convert a sub to a pair. Is
Okay.
would be the goal.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Houston and a second by Reverend Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor of approval? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
And I would invite you all, if you would like, once we get it set up and running, it's going to take a couple of weeks if you want to step in it, so we can get firsthand knowledge of what it looks like. We would love to have you. Just let me know and we'll arrange you.
Go ahead and arrange it.
Okay, we'll let you know. I'll let you know when it's up and running, so you
Yeah,
can come
I'd
by.
like to see that. That sounds interesting. Okay, no old business, board member business, 2023 dental and life insurance.
You all have the packet for the 2022-23 dental and life insurance. I don't know, we've got to find where I am. There we go. This is the one with the blue bar across the top, and on the dental insurance, we had several options there, and essentially, what we are proposing that we're going to do, and this one is just for your information, we have a fund balance there, and it had gotten to be a pretty sizable fund balance. So what we are going to do this year, we're going to hold the employees at the same rate, and we are going to raise the retiree rates. Basically, employees have been subsidizing retirees pretty heavily through the dental insurance. We don't like having to raise rates on the retirees, but it's at a point in time in the economy and what we're having to do for us to make that move now. And so we're going to go with Plan 4. Which would be the far right one. And so the retirees would be about a $14.80 a month increase for just a single retiree, and a retiree and a spouse would be about a $12.80 a month increase in what they would see in premium. So although it is an increase, it's not a huge increase. I know if you're a retiree on a fixed income, that can be significant. We anticipate this going out to bid. This hasn't gone out to bid in quite some time. And so we're going to get through this renewal and then immediately start looking at doing a rebid, and maybe even looking at the opportunity to wrap it with our health insurance going forward. And so maybe we can get some better rates that way. So that one is just sort of an FYI for your information. And so the one that we do need your approval on, however, is for the life insurance. We did see an $8 increase in life insurance, and with the board picking that up, it works out to, I believe, a $29,000 increase is what it's going to be additional from board funds. But we feel like at this point in time, that's probably the right thing to do for our employees, but yet we need your favorable consideration on paying the increase in life insurance for our employees. I would recommend that at this time.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Houston and a second by Mr. Sammerdike. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, dental and life insurance.
Thank you very much for that. The second item that I have, I apologize, is a walk-on. We've really tried to get away from doing walk-on items to give you all time to focus on the agenda items. Mr. Lukenhouse actually did this on time, but because of the shutdown last week, he wasn't able to get it submitted and into the board packet before we had to stop receiving those. This is an annual thing that the workforce development pays for our high school, middle schools, and elementary schools, so that students can get training for multiple career and technical education fields, and then testing so they can get their industry certifications. The funds are paid for through the workforce development, and there is a renewal notice and a renewal subscription that has to be done in a timely manner. So if you don't have any issues or questions about that, I would recommend your favorable consideration and approval of the Certiport renewal license agreement.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Houston and a second by Mr. Bassler. Any further discussion? None, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Great. All right.
Okay. Last thing, want me to keep going?
Yeah, might as well.
Yep, I'll just go ahead and end my part of it.
Okay.
I know you guys may have specific questions about what all went on with the storm, and we're happy to answer those for you as you go. I wanted to make sure that you were aware that we do have some teachers that live in that Lee County area and Charlotte County area that were impacted by the storm. I think I mentioned earlier that we have at least one teacher living with a principal that they work for right now as they're trying to seek additional housing. We've got others that are also struggling. We have some that evacuated that don't have anywhere to come back to. And so we're working very hard to mitigate those problems. We have a team of some unbelievably dedicated folks that have been going to homes and helping clear limbs, clean, move, do what they can do, and we're going to continue doing that in the coming weeks. If any of you want to be a part of that, then please let us know. We're happy to include you in on that. Today I had a conversation with Dr. Bernier, the new superintendent for Lee County, and of course they're closed until further notice because they've got a couple of schools that were probably damaged beyond repair, and so they're scrambling trying to figure out what they're going to do with those kids, how soon can they get the rest of them up. And he put me in contact with the person that's managing efforts on their behalf, and they're trying to assess where they are. Then they're going to reach back out to us and say, if you can help this way, that would be great. He said it may be grab and go lunches, it may be go help them get some limbs off, whatever it may be. And so I'll make sure you all are aware of that. I think it's the right thing to do to help our neighbors where we can, how we can. And I will exhaust all efforts that I can on my behalf to do that. And whatever level of engagement that you as a board want to have with that, I'll be sure and let you know, make you abreast of what we're doing, inform you so if you want to go help distribute food or do those activities that you will do that. So lots of love and prayers going out to our neighboring school districts, schools, students, teachers, and everybody that was involved. I know our friends in rural Hardee and DeSoto counties are in really bad shape as well. And so they are still in the assessment mode where they're not even sure yet how bad it is, just how bad it was, until they can really assess what they need. So I'm sure that we'll be doing everything we can to help those guys as well once they're up and running. Other than that, that's all I have. So if you have questions, we're happy to answer them. But I'll leave that to you all from this point.
Any questions about what?
Or anything.
I'm going to come down, I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, then Attorney Chatty, do you have anything for personal business this evening?
Thank you, Chairwoman, members of the board, Superintendent. There is no attorney business tonight.
I just want to say thank you to all the neighbors helping neighbors, and I'm not going to say anything else or I'll start crying. Reverend Brown?
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Sandberg?
Just quickly, I think we have one more board meeting before the general election. And aren't we on the ballot for sales tax increase?
Yes, sir.
I haven't heard anything of that. Where is our program, our advertising, our meeting the community service?
It was scheduled to come out last week,
Aha.
if that helps. And we have it ready. We've got, there's press releases, there's signage and stuff like that, but we just had to pump the brakes hard last week, being that we knew October was going to be the big month for that. And so it's just going to put us a week or so behind. As soon as we get those in hand, I can personally deliver to you guys if you would like, if y'all want to help with that effort through the educational component. That would be awesome. So we should have most of it in hand this week. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, for the folks who may be watching at home, I don't know if you are aware that when the Hendry County Emergency Management declares that this area could possibly, or our area, our county could be possibly be subject to hurricane or storm damage or imminent threat to our people, that when the district opens up the shelter, just how many people it takes to do that, to transform that facility, and from your campus custodians to your maintenance of facilities to your administrators. I think that it's just awesome that everybody just pitched in to help our own residents feel safe and provide that place for evacuees to go. And just say thank you to the administrators. I know that it was a nerve-wracking experience for everybody, even though that we were so blessed and came out well. But in the middle of that, folks who are from our district were away from their own families and, trying to minister to the needs of other people. And I just want to say thank you for that. And that it's just I've never got, secondhand got to see it from a different perspective this time. And it's really incredible when you think about it and, how folks are just kind of jumped in to make it happen. Just want to say thank you, and it was a job well done.
Well, and on that also, thank you to the after crew.
Yeah.
There were many that helped and are still helping, so.